So, are you curious about Loganville, Georgia, and where it is? If you're someone who lives in the metro Atlanta area, but far from here and don't know where Loganville is, if you live completely outside of the metro Atlanta area in Georgia and want to know where Loganville is, and of course, if you don't even live in Georgia and want to know where it is, I'm going to take a moment and give you a Google Map tour that's going to kind of give you the lay of the land on where Loganville is to give you an idea of what it's like to live outside of the metro Atlanta area on the east side. And hopefully you would be interested in it and want to move there. So let's get started. So this screen here is just showing you where Loganville is in relations to Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, inside the perimeter. For those of you who aren't familiar, there is inside the perimeter and outside the perimeter, and the perimeter is Interstate 285. It surrounds Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, and so when you hear ITP or OTP, that's what they're referring to. So ITP is all the area inside of 285, and OTP is outside of that perimeter of 285. So you can see that Loganville is on the east side of Metro Atlanta, a little bit north of Metro Atlanta. You can see that this is probably the latest information, that it is roughly an hour away from Metro Atlanta. So depending on which way you go, you're pretty much guaranteed to be spending an hour's drive to get into Atlanta. Now, if you want to know where the airport is in relations to Loganville, here we are. This is Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. It's going to take you a little bit longer, not too much longer, to get from Loganville to the airport. Now, as you can see, if you're someone who works in the city of Atlanta or in that area, or flies out and uses the airport quite frequently, Loganville may not be the right place for you. However, if you take trips on occasion, maybe you are, mostly going to the airport and flying out because of vacations, then this will definitely be a great opportunity for you to be outside of Atlanta, experience a little bit less traffic, a little less noise, and get more bang for your buck when it comes to housing prices, whether you're renting or preferably if you're buying. So you can see it takes a little while to get to the airport. So if you're not interested in always going into Atlanta and you're still worried, what can you do? Where can you go to go to grocery stores or retail or activities? Then what I want to show you are the nearest towns, because what I like about living in this particular area is that although you are far away from Atlanta, you're not far away from other towns that have been growing and really starting to beef up and ramp up and innovate and get more restaurants, more retail, and more activities happening in their city. So you don't have to go far to experience, activities and events. So with Loganville, you can see that the closest town is Grayson here. And it's really a straight shot on this road, State Road 20, to get to Grayson. And then if you want to go straight out 78, the next town over is Snellville. You'd be surprised, it's really not that far away. And the unique thing about 78 is that it will actually take you all the way into Atlanta, closer to Decatur, Georgia. So you can see here Stone Mountain, which is more of DeKalb County. Loganville is actually part of Gwinnett County and part of Walton County. And so right here, if you really like, you can see here Stone Mountain, great place to visit if you love outdoor activities. So you can climb that mountain. A lot of people do that. It's a really big thing. You can go around it. There's a walking trail. There's always events happening there. And again, it doesn't take long to get there. And it'll take you right into Atlanta, around Decatur, Georgia area. If you go this way, it will take you into Monroe. That's another small town that is definitely growing. Lots of new construction happening out there. And if you take it even further, you can actually get to, let's see if I can find it, Athens. And so if you're a UGA fan and you love going to the games, then you are not far from Athens, Georgia to experience those games. I personally like going there because there's a Trader Joe's and I can get there faster and with less traffic than the nearest one that is in Norcross, Georgia. So I like Trader Joe's in Athens there. So this kind of gives you an idea of the towns and cities. Now, if you go to the south a little bit, you'll see that you can get to Conyers, Georgia, which is right off of I-20, and Covington, Georgia, and Social Circle. And I'm identifying those because, again, these are more cities and towns that are growing. There are lots of activities going on, other opportunities for retail and restaurants that you can patronize there. And then it also will take you on 20. Again, you can hop on I-20 and go straight into Atlanta towards the south side. And if you want to go in the other direction, you're going to eventually get to Augusta and cross over into South Carolina. So there is really not a lack of things to do living in Loganville, in hop, skip, and a jump away from the nearest town and city to experience some of their activities. So if you have a family and you're interested in where the schools are or how many schools there are, high schools, elementary, middle school, you can see here there are plenty of schools that service the students of Loganville, Georgia, and the surrounding area. You can see Grayside High School is here. I believe here we are with Loganville High School. So those are the two main high schools that service Loganville. Depending on where you are, I believe you can, Archer may be one, and then South Gwinnett may also be another high school that services parts of Loganville as well. And so if you go into Loganville on the Walton County side, I believe Walton County High School services Loganville on that side. You see middle schools there, we can see elementary schools. So you're not going to lack opportunities for your kids to attend some really good schools in the Gwinnett or Walton County School District. Now, if you're concerned about medical facilities and hospitals, now there are not any hospital systems in Loganville proper. So the closest hospital system is actually in Snellville, which again, remember I told you that you can get to Snellville right off of 78. It really doesn't take any time at all to do so. But the nearest one is Piedmont Eastside Medical Center. So that is a hospital system, and it's not too far from Loganville. What you're probably going to experience here in Loganville is urgent care centers, smaller medical facilities, and definitely provider offices. So you're not going to like for provider offices urgent care, but if you need a hospital, the closest one is in Snellville, Piedmont East Medical Center. Now, you can go in the other direction to Monroe, and I'll have a video specifically talking about Monroe as well, where you have Piedmont Walton, again, right off of 78 going in the other direction. That's another major hospital system there that you can go to if you need it. Now, I want to talk about restaurants. Now, I mentioned that Loganville, one of the perks about being here is that it is very close to other towns and cities where you can get more opportunities for restaurants and retail. And so, Loganville, I can't say that they have a ton of restaurants and that you would find unique. What I love to patronize more mom and pop type of restaurants and by local owners and really give them the business. So I love to highlight those areas or those facilities. And so what you're going to see here with Loganville, most of the restaurants are pretty much in one area and right off of 78. As I talked about several times already, 78 really just runs straight through Loganville. And so you're going to find that most of the restaurants are going to be right off of this highway. And so there are plenty of fast food restaurants. Definitely not going to want for that. But I just want to show you, and I'll be doing future videos specifically on these restaurants, but I just want to really highlight the ones that I think are very good. And so don't want to do stars and strikes, not interested in that. But let's get back into the restaurants. So we're back in Snellville. We don't want to be there. All right. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And we're going to start here. So if you like Mexican, there's several restaurants here. Frontera, that one's okay. I'm not really a huge fan of that one. But if we go here to Brand Road, let me see if I can zoom in and give you some other options here. If you go to Brand Road, this place here, Chapo's Tequilas and Grill, it's new. I haven't tried it, but I do plan on trying it. But right next door is a seafood restaurant called Oh Shucks. And so the sister restaurant, exact same menu, is in Lawrenceville, which I'll be doing a video on Lawrenceville as well, which is called Oyster Bay. It is fabulous. So if you love seafood, you know we're landlocked, so there's not a lot of, fresh seafood per se. But if you go there to Oh Shucks, you're going to definitely get some good seafood there. Another good restaurant that's Italian is Pamidi's. I love them. Their chicken parmesan is awesome. Really good restaurant there. Let's see if we go down and see if I can find you a couple of other restaurants. Huey Magoo's. I like this restaurant. If you're sick of Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's and you want something a little different when it comes to your chicken options, or even Popeyes, Huey Magoo's is a really good restaurant. So it's not expensive, kind of fast food, but it's really good. And then another spot here that I wanted to highlight, I don't think it's going to show up here, but it's another Mexican restaurant called Cielo Blue. That food is great. I have not had one bad entree there. Their Cielo dip is great. It has steak, it has shrimp, and it has chicken in the cheese dip, regular cheese dip. My son gets the burrito, the fried burrito. I get the fajita quesadillas a lot, but I've tried other things. It is great. The very last restaurant that I want to highlight before I move on to the last thing is, and let's see if it's going to show it to me. Here it is, Foggy Bottom. So I don't know how familiar you are if you're in Georgia. There's other states, Texas, that, probably, say that they're the king of barbecue. I really don't care. I just want some really good barbecue. And most of the barbecue places that I like are too far away. They're in Atlanta, Decatur. I can't go there every time. Foggy Bottom is great. Now, this is the original location. They have one in Loganville, in Lawrenceville, but the barbecue here is great. Brisket is definitely great here, and I highly recommend it. Now, finally, I want to talk about things to do. And as I mentioned before, and I'll probably mention this on a pros and cons video, is living in Loganville is definitely not the place to be if you're looking for tons of activities, tons of events, and, celebrities coming in. That's not what Loganville is. Loganville is where you want to experience community and being outside and maybe meeting new people. But there's definitely events that happen. Now, the unique thing, again, I've mentioned before, is that Loganville is close to other towns and cities that have events down in their town centers or their squares. And but there's also things like parks here. And so if you are someone that loves the outdoors, or if you're not and you want to start experiencing the outdoors, then definitely Loganville is a great place to live, and you can go out and experience those events in those different areas. And so Vines Park is very popular. It's not far from the center of Loganville. Destination Park is also a great park to go to with yourself, with your family. If you have young children, it's definitely a great place to go. I love this park, and I'll feature this in some future videos, but also for Snellville, Lawrenceville area. This particular park is not too far from Loganville. It doesn't take you long to get there, but they've revamped this entire park and they've created more walking trails. There's a lot of green space there, and pavilions, and a brand new playground area for kids. There's one that's for a little bit older kids, and then another one for younger kids. So it's a great, great park. But I know that Vines Park is also a good one. Now, Impossible Escape Loganville, if you've ever experienced one of those escape venues, then that's definitely something for you to do. For any of your kids that like to play video games, there is a place called Comptroller. It is close to downtown Loganville that they always have events going on themselves, but your kids can patronize there and, play all the video games that they want there. And again, Tribble Mill Park is not far away. Again, all of our parks I love about the parks in Gwinnett and even Walton County is that they are definitely built for families and for outdoor events and things to do. So if you're someone who needs to exercise and you love your walking trails, your biking trails, you want something dog friendly or pet friendly, our parks in Gwinnett County are top notch when it comes to that. So I know that you're going to enjoy experiencing those venues. So that is it for Loganville. I hope that this was helpful for you. If so, just leave a quick comment. Let me know if there's anything else that you're interested in about Loganville that you would like to see. Please let me know again in the comments, or shoot me an email. If you're interested in moving to Loganville, Georgia, and you want some more information, you want to talk one-on-one, then reach out to me. I would love to assist you. I'm a realtor here in the Metro Atlanta area on the east side. It's the area that I service. All of my information is in the description below. So I hope to hear from you. Other than that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, bye for now.